All right, let's do this. So, earlier today, while we were all busy at work, the government announced a new policy change in the import for laptops and tablet. And there has been a lot of reaction and opinions on the internet already. But I thought I'll create another small deck to take you through what has changed and how this impact you at the end of the day. Let's take a look. The import policy changes for laptop and tablet. Is it good or bad for the industry? And what about you? How does it impact you? This is the answer that we will try to find out at the end of this deck. The content for this presentation would be what, why, and how. What actually happened? What has changed in the policy? And why are they doing this? What is the reason behind this? And how this will impact the industry and me. So let's take a look at the what first. So this is from the notice that came. It says that the import of laptops, tablets, all-in-one PCs, and ultra small factor computers and servers under the HSN code 8471 is restricted with immediate effect. Yeah, it's not going to happen sometime later in the year, but it's going to happen right today once they announced earlier today. However, companies can still import samples for doing various tasks like R&D, benchmarking, testing, and product development. However, the quantity seems to be on a very lower side. That's 20. I believe this number should be a little bit higher, like 100, because you'll have multiple SKUs, multiple lineup of laptops and from a brand. So I believe this is something that they should look at and hopefully make a change. However, the exemption would be if you are repairing or re-importing these goods outside the country and then you have to re-import it back, that will be exempted. So why are they doing this? Well, let's take a look at what the policies and sub-classifications of 8471 are. So it includes PC, microcomputer, mainframe computer. Imagine, we're all talking about, oh, what happened to the laptop? But imagine those companies who have been importing mainframe computers, which are largely quite large, to be honest. They'll have to find a way to manufacture this in India and or assemble this in India rather, and not import at all. Imagine all those big companies like IBM who still rely on mainframe computers will have a tough time to figure this out. And I hope they were at least ready or they had some notifications to do this. To understand why the government is doing this, you'll have to look at the total addressable market. Now, the estimated value of laptops imported in 2022 was $8 billion. That's a lot of money. And if you look at the macro view and go and check the electronics segment, this was around $70 billion. This is estimated in 2022, and the import share was around 64%. So it's clearly the government wants you to encourage the local domestic manufacturing guys and enable them and encourage them to do these manufacturing so that these values that you see come down drastically quick and fast. So that's why the government announced something called the PLI Scheme 2.0, version 2, back in May 2023. This is under the IT hardware segment. So there are multiple PLI schemes for various sections, like PLI schemes for EVs, right? So there's also PLI schemes especially for IT hardware manufacturing. And the incentive starts from around 300 crores in year one and goes all the way to 6,000 crores in year six. And the total incentive that the government is keeping aside for this program is about 17,000 crores. So the people who are eligible, of course, there are criterias to meet. They can avail total incentive combined of all the companies up to 17,000 crores. So as mentioned, to do this, you will have to produce the PCBA and set up an assembly line to assemble this product in year one. And going forward in year 2 and subsequent years, you'll have to keep adding one component to be eligible for the PLI scheme 2.0 under IT hardware segment. Of course, there are more detailed criteria. I will not get into it. I'll have a link in the tweet so that you can go and read. How will this impact? Well, the total addressable market for the laptops is around 12 million a year. And the announcement happened today. And the estimated imported value, according to the counterpoint, was about 7 to 8 billion dollars, with the import share of around 65 to 70% this year until reported, which is a huge share. About two-thirds of the laptops being sold in India are actually imported. However, something very, very interesting happened in 2020, and that was the smart TV segment. The total addressable market of the smart TVs was around 12 to 14 million in that year. And the announcement happened around July 30th, pretty much around the same time that today's announcement has gone on 3rd. And in 2020, this announcement came right at the end of July. And the imported value or estimated value of smart TVs around that time was about 781 million. And if you look at the share, it was about 30 to 35%. So there's a huge change in terms of the import share. That's almost 2x for laptops versus smart TVs. So is it all gloom and doom? Well, not really. So if you look at the numbers in 2021, the shipment of smart TVs actually increased by 24% year on year, and the market share of smart TVs increased by 55% year on year. And it just didn't stop there. In 2022, this shipment increased even more by 28%. And today, the overall smart TV market share against overall TV shipment is 90%. That's 90% penetration. So not everything was bad because of this announcement that happened in 2020. In fact, the market reacted and they saw a huge increase in the smart TV shipment around that time. Just a side note, so the PLI scheme, you remember, was announced in 17th of May. And guess what? Something very interesting happened. The market value or the share value of Dixon has been climbing ever since. So I don't know if it's a coincidence. I have no idea about how this works, but it's an interesting fact that I found and I wanted to share with you. So, coming back to the question and our goal, is it good or bad for the industry, and how does it impact you? Well, for the industry, it's very obvious, right? The Dixon of the world and the other local manufacturers of laptops and tablets will surely benefit. There are more revenue growth opportunities for each and every one of them, ranking up to 17,000 crores in total for 6 years. However, given the sheer value of the market or the import share rather at being 70% or 65%, that's two-thirds of total sales happening in India. I'm not sure how ready the industry is given the fact Diwali is around the corner. This was easier for TVs because smart TVs were around 30 to 35% of the import share. So that's one thing that you should be looking at. This could potentially mean that there could be a slowdown in terms of total sales in the next quarter. What does it mean for you? Well, this means more jobs in this manufacturing industry. You could be a part of this new journey. You could be a student, you could be an industry expert. This just means more job opportunities, and you can be a part of this journey and be a part of this growth opportunity that all these local manufacturers will see surely in the coming years. So it's a win-win for you if you ask me. And that's it for today. I thought I'll do a quick deep dive into what I thought will be the impact for the change in the import policies for laptops. Thank you so much. I hope you found this information useful and meaningful. And until next time, take care.